Hey guys, Flame Newton here. You know, author of the School of Credit, also known as America's #1 credit educator. Listen, today what we're going to talk about is how does that credit profile supposed to look when you're going to get business credit? How does that personal credit profile supposed to look when you're going to go get business funding of $150,000 or more? How does it supposed to look? I'll get that question. I'm going to answer that and a whole lot more right after this.
Hey YouTubers, join America's #1 credit educator, Flame Newton, as he guides you through the inner workings of the credit system, providing you with essential tips and tricks he gained by breaking the very same system and making millions during the process. Welcome to the School of Credit.
Man, as you know, man, Flame Newton here once again. Listen, thanks for coming back. What we're gonna do is talk about how does that credit profile supposed to look when you're getting business funding of $150,000 or more. Man, I get that question asked all the time, and we're gonna talk about it, right? Let's first understand what all of this is about. When you actually have your personal credit profile, and I get it, you've heard so many things. This internet is full of it, YouTube is full of it, even within your community, your family, everybody's saying, listen, you can get money without your personal credit. Right? May sound good, but then there's a thing called reality. But in reality, the lenders want to know, what is it about you to make us want to give you money? So one of the criteria that I want to look at is they want to look at your personal credit report. Now the question was asked, how do you structure that report and what does it supposed to look like? So the way that I like to look at it is we have to identify that personal credit into categories. So the first category that I want to talk about is one is called personal information. Now in this category, it has your name, it has your address, it has jobs that you've had. That personal credit category, you want to make sure that when it comes to this stuff, that it's very minimal. Meaning that when there's a name that's on that on your profile, that is only just one name. That's right, a first and just a last name, or first, middle, last name, whatever you go by. But what they do not like to see is a variations of different names that's on your application, right? I understand sometimes you want to put Michael down as your middle name, but sometimes you want to put the letter M. What you want to do is show consistency throughout that. You want to make sure that there's one name that's on there and that you're not using things such as an alias. Because what they do is they think that maybe you may be trying to dupe institutions out of their money by using different names and trying to get funding in the variations of different ways. They're used to it. They're on to you. But what we want to do is making sure prior to that we use just that one name. Also, the address. Man, have you seen your credit profile lately? This is a big one. As you get into the address section, you will see that a person has a variety of different addresses, right? They will say 123 Main Street, 456 Broad Street, 789 12th Street. They will have so many different addresses. What you want to make sure is prior to you using your personal credit to utilize it for your business, you want to make sure that you clean up all of those negative addresses that are no longer in use for you. You got to get rid of them. Because what it looks to them is it looks like you a hoarder of information, a hoarder of money, and it doesn't look clean. Your profile has to look clean. And by getting those addresses deleted off of your profile makes a great deal of difference. Also, when it comes to your actual employer, now I understand you moved around from job to job, things happen. I'm one that can understand that. But what I want to also let you know is moving around to different types of professions looks like a red flag to them. And so therefore, if one week that you're a customer rep at a Marriott hotel and the next week you're putting alternators on at a shop, and then 3 days later you're snapping photos, and all of these different type of occupations are showing on your credit profile, it looks to them like you're unstable. And they don't like for your credit profile to look unstable. So what you have to do is showing them that even though that you bounce from job to job, and if that is the case, you want to show that you're still in the same type of profession, right? You want to be able to show that. And you show that by making sure that those job descriptions are on there. And as well as they have a statement in which you can put that. It's a 100-word or less statement that you can put on your credit report and let them know. That is something that you can actually use, right? Going from that is now you start talking about on your credit profile of how to structure these different types of lenders that are on there. We must understand them. One in particular is I always talk about something called the Power 6 banks. Now, what are the Power 6 banks, right? I'm gonna do a video on that later so you can actually understand that one, right? When it comes to the Power 6 banks, the Power 6 banks are included. That is Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, Capital One, Citi, and US Bank. You want to make sure that you have those Power 6 banks that's on your profile, right? That they're showing on your profile, right? And the reason that you want to show them is because it's essentially like you're driving down the highway and you're trying to get something to eat. And if you don't know where something to eat is at, one thing in particular is that you would know if a sign came up and it said Subway. We would all know what Subway carries, right? What about if you seen a sign and it said McDonald's? You would at least know what McDonald's had to carry, right? Because those are things that you would understand. And in the banking world, it works the same way. So when it comes to these lenders, they know who Citibank is, they know who Capital One is, they know who US Bank, Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. They know who they are. Now, so although that you got a loan from S&L Bank, they may not know who that is. They may only have one in your local town. And so when other lenders are looking at your profile, it doesn't look creditable to them. So we want to make sure that we have top tier lenders on our credit profile. That is something major that we must have, right? When it comes to credit cards, right? You want to make sure that you have an American Express or you have Chase credit cards. You want to show that you have top tier credit cards on your credit profile. Notice that I didn't use American Express in the banking category, but I did use them when it came into the credit card category. That's right, because there's different criteria for products for different banks. And we want to make sure that our credit profile is structured as such as there are a lot of indicators that go on a credit profile, such as do you have a mortgage? Do you have a car? Now, why is a mortgage very important to have on your credit profile? The reason that you want a mortgage on your credit profile is because it shows to them that you've been able to handle large amounts of money. So when the lender is looking at your personal credit profile to see if you can get that $150,000 in business funding, right? Along with a slew of criteria from your business, but when it comes to your personal, they want to see that, hey, this guy has had a $300,000 a home before. It shows it on his criteria. He does not have late payments, or she does not have any foreclosures of things of that nature. That's something that's got to be very descriptive to them. And the way that it's being very described is utilizing it when you're actually opening up your credit profile. As well as when you actually have a card on your profile, right? What it tells them is that auto lenders have used you for large amounts of money as well. So even though that it may not be an open account and it can show as a closed account, that looks just as good. Because now it shows to them that you've actually gotten something, you used it, and you paid it off. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people to fit their criteria when it comes to all of this, right? Also, you want to make sure that when it comes to credit cards that's on your account, you want to make sure that you have at least 3 different types of credit cards, right? That you actually have that mortgage, or you have that automobile, or you have any other sort of type of loan that's on there. You do not want to have a lot of this junk stuff on there, right? From subprime lenders, right? And we'll get into that later on, that I wanted to let you know what you should have, right? by you actually structuring your profile to making sure that you have your correct name, the one that's on your ID, on your credit profile, as well as you have one address on your credit profile, and you have your job or your employer that's only in one specific area, as well as having about 3 credit cards that's on your credit profile. You have an auto loan, you got a mortgage. It shows that you're very diverse, that you can handle any type of loan that come your way, and you're showing this to the world. That's something that they want to make sure that they take note of, that they're seeing this about you. And as well as your student loans, right? Although things can happen, you want to make sure that when it comes to your student loans, that they have a thing called late payments, that you're not showing that you're in late payment. And they also have things called deferment or forbearance. Now, although that you may be there, right, they can easily tell if you're in forbearance or deferment. How is that? They can tell, simply put, by when they're looking at your credit file, it shows them that your highest amount, and then it shows them your balance. Your highest amount to them was your original balance. So your original balance could have been $10,000 for that particular student loan. But when they look at your balance says $13,000. So your balance is $3,000 more than the actual loan itself that you did when you took out. Now, how is that if you've been making all the payments on time? That only occurs is because they understand that you are in deferment or forbearance. And what you just directly inflicted with them was the fact that in order to get into a deferment or forbearance program, most likely you had to show some type of a hardship, which means, hey, I got a lot of stress on me, and this is not the time for me to pay these student loans. I'm just going to pay them on the back end when I make more money or when I'm more comfortable in life. So when you're telling them that, but you also are asking them, can you get a large amount of money? And now you're telling them, saying, hey, forget about that stress. I'm going to be stress-free with yours. Hey, make it sound right to you, then it can sound right to them. Listen, man, I hope that you guys have got a lot of information about what your credit profile is supposed to look like, what the lenders are looking for when they're doing this. Listen, we'll talk about this and a whole lot more. Also, the School of Credit book, Learn and Master, the 8 levels of the business credit system. I'm gonna put the link below so you guys can have it. I need you guys to go grab that book. That'll help you on your journey as well. Listen, we're gonna talk about this and a whole lot more. Thank you guys for tuning in. I can't help it. What I want you to do now is I want to make sure that you like this video. Like it. Also, what I need you to do is I need for you to hit that subscribe button. Gotta hit that subscribe button. Come on, what are you waiting for? I need you to help me grow this channel. And as well as, I need for you to make sure that you're ringing that notification bell anytime that we're coming on. Hey, listen, we're gonna talk about this and a whole lot more. Thank you for guys tuning in. With that being said, I'm out.